Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Town Radio. More fun and excitement to come today. Woo!
Hey.
Now, someone's not that excited, I see.
He's just containing his excitement for later.
Yes,
Everyone watching, prepare yourself.
Yes, this is going to be very interesting for our topic later. But before that, we have a few episodes to talk about. Ghost 13, Faiz 5, and 6, because it's time to start doubling up if we want to get through this before it takes us a whole year.
We're watching Faiz, not Double Crunch.
I'm
sorry. I'll go sit in the corner.
Barely a minute into the episode and our first pun. Or wordplay, whatever you want to call it. That has got to be a record. My goodness. Yes, we got that, and then our special topic is things in toku we don't like. Or don't understand, and yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah.
But that's for later. Moving on, let's get to Ghost. Right, so, Ghost.
Yay.
So, can I just say Ghost has jumped the shark 13 times now?
How do you mean?
Well, in episode 1, he died.
Yeah.
And we got to see the first bike henshin, which is normally something you see a little bit later in episode 1. Episode 2, we get to see the, oh, I'm not in the right form fuck up. Episode 3, we got to see the giant motorcycle beast thing out of basically nowhere. We got to see the main character stopping something that probably would have destroyed the entire city, if not the whole continent, in like episode 4.
You mean the whole island?
Yeah. Yep.
Remember, Japan
yes,
is
the continent of Japan.
Well, to be fair, Australia is counted as a continent. It's just
True.
a giant fucking island, so.
The secondary writer coming in practically out of nowhere. The secondary writer, because of coming out of nowhere, somehow has things that you don't understand how he got, considering he's not a ghost like the main character to get his items. Secondary writer beats the living shit out of the main writers. Main writer eventually beats the shit out of the secondary writer. They team up. So on, so forth, blah, 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 blah.
Basically, they're blitzing all the writer tropes really fast.
Yeah.
Then, you got the things that come in out of nowhere, like icons can possess people.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were building this up to, and
It's like, oh.
Yeah, you really could have just skipped all that and said, apparently icons can possess people.
But yeah,
that's pretty much what I was going to go for. Yes, the hero icon specifically.
Yeah, we spent, 12 episodes, and then one decided to talk. Now 13 episodes, and one decides to finally possess a person.
Yeah, that was interesting. The Ryoma icon just decides to jump inside somebody, and it's like...
Which I think would have been a more interesting plot point. Instead of having to find some way to create an icon, they were just already possessing people.
See, that would have been interesting, yeah.
I think that, from what I've seen from a screenshot of that hyper video or whatever with the EQ and Pythagoras icons, I think something like that happens.
I could believe it.
Because there's an image where it's like the first 4 icons, the 4 quote-unquote main characters are in those poses, or like in outfits similar to those. So Takeru's Musashi, Onari's Robin Hood, Kari's, I believe, Edison, and one of the random dudes in the temple was Newton.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that would have been a pretty interesting way to have to do the icon. It's like...
Would have been a lot cooler, too.
Yeah, they're already created. It's just like now they got to convince these people to help them fight or whatever.
Yeah.
Although now I'm also getting flashbacks to that one season of Jackie Chan Adventures. The talismans all break and their powers end up in animals, and they have to figure out who's got the power.
Oh my god, this is turning into Jackie Chan. I need your help. Why? You have the thing. What thing? The thing I need. Okay.
And there was that weird duo of like a rooster and a pig that would just fly around.
Now we just need Sage to say one more thing.
I love Uncle. One more thing. Uncle pack magic sock. Anyway.
So
Yeah,
Ghost.
So that happened. Ryoma's icon is possessing a dude. Which, I have to say, I love Ryoma. He is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love lemons too.
Wrong Ryoma!
Okay.
Even though that probably was
the
point
Ryoma, okay.
in Gaim, he was supposed that was why he was named Ryoma, because
More than likely, yes.
Because warring states.
Yes, that would make so much sense.
So, first off, I have a couple quick little... Well, I can't say that until next week. Fuck, never mind.
Good job.
I don't want to say it because it doesn't technically pertain to this episode.
Were you going to talk about Ryoma Damashi?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, save it for next week when it actually shows up. Instead, let's talk about Goemon. First of all, Onari did not...
I don't like the way it looks, but I love the fight.
Yeah, that fight was pretty cool, although...
It was a really cool fight because it was just out of the norm for Toku.
You mean how the fight was basically just a kabuki thing?
Yeah. For one thing, it was really differently choreographed than normal. Another thing was at night, which doesn't happen very often. Yeah, and another thing, it was on a roof.
Yeah, all of that was just...
It was like on a roof and on a balcony, and it was just really unique locations that you don't usually see.
I think the whole roof thing is like a kabuki trope.
Yeah,
more than likely.
Maybe.
Yep. Also, random fireworks at the end because why not?
Yeah, that was interesting.
I will say that entire fight was ruined for me on the inside.
Why?
You guys know why. Feel
free to enlighten us in case we...
Yeah, we really don't.
Kabuki Man, and why...
Oh, God damn it! Why must you destroy everything I love?
The one thing about that Goemon thing, though, is friggin' Onari would not shut up about it.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Takaru, use an... Oh, okay, you're gonna use Edison. Hey, Takaru, use Goemon. Oh, okay. Hey, Takaru, use Goemon. We gotta sell this toy.
Well,
the entire time I was like, oh man, this would be like in... I don't know. I can't think of something off the top of my head, but something...
It reminds me of something, I just can't think of it.
It would be like in a video game, but like, hey, use this gun. No, I'm gonna use the pistol. No, use it. No, I'm gonna use the pistol. Use this gun. Fine.
Hey, listen.
Yes.
Well, you know the reason why they're mainly pushing that thing is the same way they finally poked out the fact that the sunglass slasher has sunglasses on.
And apparently the sunglass slasher does come with Benkei, or not fuck.
It's Goemon and Ryoma.
Yeah.
And that's why they're pushing it.
I'm getting my little eyeballs mixed up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much why they're pushing it, because those things come with that toy, and they gotta sell that toy.
Yeah,
although I do just love...
use Goemon in the sunglass slasher.
Yeah, this is the episode where he first does the final attack with it, and it's also the first episode you see both of the icons in the same episode.
Yeah. I do like the jingle for the final attack, though.
Yep.
I'm not going to attempt to recreate it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen the episode, you know what it sounds like.
And he does a mega Omega Shine, and it's a super mega win.
I do love the way Yurisen pointed it out.
And then Fires, because, Kamen Rider.
I do like the way Yurisen pointed out, though. Hey, your sword's wearing sunglasses.
He's like, oh yeah!
I also like that he didn't acknowledge the fact that, by the way, your sword has a gun barrel at the end of it.
Don't worry, you'll figure that out next episode, because...
Yep.
I'm gonna shut up because I almost said something again.
Other notes I had is, hey, we actually got another shot at the inside the Gamma world.
Yep.
Yeah, that was nice.
Just icons floating around everywhere and destroyed buildings.
Yep.
When I saw all the icons in the back of my mind, just because I watch Robot Chicken a lot, I keep reminding myself of the dinner scene from the Star Wars special where they're on the Cloud City, and he brings up the muffin. And he's like, oh, we're a peaceful planet. Oh, boom! Alderaan chunks everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, that's just all I kept thinking when I saw the Ganmas. I was like, Ganma eyes everywhere.
Hopefully they go into more detail about that place, because I'd love to actually know more about
I'm sure
it.
we're going to see more of it.
And then the other thing I had was Takaru is apparently phasing out for some reason.
Yeah, that was weird and not brought up on another place that we...
Let it go.
I'm just saying it wasn't brought up on the other place.
Yeah, yes.
But, yeah, that was weird, and I was like, okay, what's that all about?
My guess is probably the stability of how he was having his timer reset is not quite as stable. Or something, who knows.
No, he just needs to find his mother. just have
You mean the mother that is never mentioned ever?
Yeah, because that's just kind of
his dad was asexual.
You never see at least one of the parents.
Yep.
Usually the mother.
They literally have never mentioned her. It's all about his frickin' dad.
Yeah.
Well, that's because
my dad this, my dad this. Where the fuck is your mother?
Well, I mean, how do you think
she was Himiko?
I was gonna say, how do you think he's gonna get grateful to Mashi?
Oh, jeez.
That's his final form. It's his mother.
Mom Damashi.
Oh gosh.
Parent Damashi.
Damamshi.
Oh.
Radio episode 11. Damamshi.
God.
Yeah. So.
The weapon is just a house slipper.
Just a broom.
Yeah, I am curious to see how that's going to play out. I wonder if it would be something like him transforming starts burning his timer up more.
Maybe.
That would actually be more dramatic.
Yeah.
I mean, it would still probably get solved in the end because he's the main fucking character, but...
We know it's going to get solved in the end because grateful Damashi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would just be kind of an interesting mechanic.
You know, it's the Grateful Damashi, you know, about the Grateful Dead.
I mean, he has to watch out for that snake tattoo before it reaches his neck.
Oh wait, wrong show.
Wrong show. Yeah, they had to explain why he didn't have a lot of footage.
Yeah.
Because it's expensive to make original footage.
No,
yeah,
it's a tattoo of the Cobra mobile on his back.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Maybe the whole reason he's phasing out is because when he combined with his dad's soul, you know, was already past that 99-cent mark, and is basically more or less slightly leeching off of Takaru's timer.
I actually only gave you 45 days.
Yeah, I could see that, potentially.
Because they just say the timer resets, they don't say exactly for how long.
Well, they did say he has 98 days left at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, he just assumed it was 99 days, because that's how much he had before.
Well, I think the Sage said 99 at the end of the last episode, but...
Real quick, speaking of the beginning of the episode, they also added boost to the opening.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. You could see him, like, explosions and stuff, because...
Explosion form.
Because why not? Explosions mean you're more powerful.
It happen because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Explosion now.
Did you mean the bullshit ring? Like that. All of White Wizard's rings were just bullshit. Like, oh hey, okay, I'm just gonna point my hand at you and make stuff explode. Or hey, I'm just gonna teleport away now.
Didn't he have some sort of like staff that was just covered in rings?
Yeah,
he had a.
He had a cool. Yeah, he had the. I forgot what it was called, but
it was like a staff flute looking thing.
Yeah, it was like a flute spear thing.
I just remember he had a stick with a whole bunch of rings, plus his shoulders had rings, and it's like.
Yeah.
So are you just gonna like roll into a ball with like?
Yeah, the staff, which unfortunately never got released.
Yeah. His final attack is he just rolls up into a ball and the belt reads all the rings.
That would. Been hilarious.
Everything now.
It was so demanding.
Yeah. Well, that was the point. That was the point.
Yeah.
Haruto's belt says please, but all the other ones say now.
Yeah, because Haruto's a gentleman. That's why he had
that and please is the magic word.
Yeah, that's why he had that one ring that gave Wizard a bow tie and a top hat.
Dress up, please.
Yeah.
Because reasons.
I like how you say please and not please.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say it like the belt said it, okay?
Because the belt does say
the
please.
Belt said Please.
I remember it sounding more like that, but
it
whatever.
does say please. Well, it's
it's
English, so
back
it's saying please, but it sounds like please.
Flame. Please.
I think it depended on the take that day.
Yeah, like it's sometimes like it sounds like he kind of sounds like he's saying flame, but it also kind of sounds like
frame.
Flame.
It's called Japan and their L's and R's
It's called English for a reason.
Yeah.
It's called Japan and has problems with L's and R's. They don't know how to say them.
It's the same sound in Japanese, so
anyway,
it's understandable. So anyway, Ghost.
Yeah. Anyone else got anything else for Ghost? Pretty much.
Not really. It was a nice episode.
No, because the only other thing I'm wanting to ask is going to be after we're done with the podcast.
Okay then. Interesting.
Okay then. So Faiz.
Yes, Faiz it is.
The Faiz have it.
Yep.
Yes, that was indeed the name of one of our episodes.
Well, it was the eyes have it.
The eyes
close
have
enough.
Right, so Faiz episode 5. My first note is...
Faiz episode 5?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
Yeah, my first note in this is the Autovision runs on gas. Go figure.
You'd think it'd be electric.
How many... What do you think the
mileage is on
Autovision?
I have no honest idea. All I know is it reminds me of an old joke from the 2008 Knight Rider where Kit tells him, we need to stop and refuel. And the one guy is making a smartass remark of like, the supercar runs on gas. And then he's all like, goes to this whole thing like, yes, he does run on gas, but he does like all this other stuff that makes him way more efficient. So he gets like 300 something miles to a gallon. And she's like, the supercar runs on gas.
Through the power of editing.
I don't know, I just thought that was funny. But yeah, like you said, it's like I would have expected it to run on like electricity or something, not gas.
Right, because
whatever the hell the Faiz driver runs on.
Yeah. Which, speaking of that, this episode pretty much enforces that old idea I had before of the belt needs a transporter. Because literally it's like, under attack, he left it in one place, and had to call the guy to get it.
Yeah, go on. That's something I don't like about... I'll bring that up later.
Whereas, like, if the thing had a transporter, just carry around the phone, punch in a code, it summons the belt to you, and there you go. Anyway.
It's one of the few series that doesn't just magically pull the belt out of its ass, and they actually make it a plot point.
Later. We will talk about that later.
Let's see, what else happened this episode?
A guy... Orphenoch dude makes Orphenochs.
Yeah, we had a dude trying to teach Kiba and Yuka about the ways of the Orphenochs. That was interesting.
And looked like he shot crap out of a staff.
Well, he's a squid, so it's supposed to be ink.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I never got that either until...
he's a squid.
Like, the entire time I was like, aren't Orphenochs supposed to be like animals? Because that one guy said it was like a porcupine.
Yeah, that didn't click with me for a while.
Yeah,
and then, like, literally right now, I'm like, why is that dude, like, shooting stuff on all those guys? And then you're like, oh, it's a squid. I was like...
Suddenly it makes all the sense.
Because if you look at him, he has, like, the really pointy head.
Like I didn't make that connection.
I just ignore the pointy heads anymore.
Yeah, it's an easy mistake to make. The resemblance isn't that close.
Then wasn't he was like, he didn't look gray, he looked more white.
Yeah.
Which was interesting for Orphenochs.
Yep.
Because they're all like monotone gray, and he looked more white than gray. Like a dull pearl.
So something in this episode I wanted to bring up is the whole thing with Keitaro and Yuka is bullshit.
You mean how they walk? Oh wait, that.
Well, they kind of did the similar thing, but still, it's just like.
I mean, how they like walked right past each other like 4 fucking times.
Yeah, literally, it's like in the whole thing with like in Smart Brain, they walk past each other, don't know who each other is, And
you would think one of them would have sent a photo to the other at least once.
I know, right? That's what I was gonna say. It's like I know those old phones were not the greatest in the world back then, but they could have had pic sending of some kind.
Not
Actually, no,
only
I'm sorry.
that,
Actually, no. Now that I think about it, though, hers is like the really old ones where it's like it has a screen on it, but it's like one of the smaller
can
ones.
I
Yeah.
bring something else
If
up real
even
fast?
if one of them had sent a picture, it probably would have been pixelated as all hell.
Yeah, can I say something else real fast?
Well, the only other thing I had about that is that they're using cell phones to talk to each other. They could have fucking called each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they obviously have each
Also
other's
about
numbers.
also about the cell phones. He picks hers up. Never once did he re-text her and then be like, "Oh, this phone went off. Oh my God, that's her." Like, never.
Well, that was that was episode 6, but yeah,
Well,
still,
yeah.
it's like
Still, like, literally, it's like, "Oh, miss, you dropped your phone. Oh, you're just."
I know I was waiting. It's like it's been a while since I've seen this. I was half waiting for him to do it, but then it's like, or like,
Yeah, 'cause he was like in the middle of one of those like, "Oh, so and so, I'm so sorry." Blah 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 blah, depressing noises and whatnot. Swimpy face, send. And I was expecting the phone to, because he even taps them together.
I know. It's like, if only you knew, buddy. If only you knew.
If only you sent that message, you dumb son of a bitch.
Well, the worst part is I think even like in episode 5, where like they're leaving Smart Brain and then she and Kiba are walking in, he sends a message and then her phone goes off like 2 seconds later.
Yeah,
And he completely misses
they literally walk right past each other.
Yeah, which also gotta love how Takumi and Kiba keep running into each other.
I'd like to think of it like this: if this was any other season, like say if this was like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, this was the equivalent of Rita and Zed walking past Tommy and Jason. Just right next to each other, just walking right by.
Yeah.
I told you I didn't want to go to your father's. Or like Heart and Brain walking past Chase and Go, just plain as day.
Well, they knew who Chase was.
Right,
So
but
that
still,
wouldn't
it's
have
just
worked.
like derp 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 derp.
It'd have been more like walking past Tamari and Go before they knew who each other was.
Yeah.
And speaking of cops, good segue. The cops are investigating Yuka's kill spree.
That's all right with me. Let the bloodshed spread.
You just want the cops to get killed, don't you?
I mean, maybe.
We really need to take away your Oja powers. I think they're going to your head.
That has nothing to do with it. It might be other reasons that involve multi-numbered dice. And that's all I will say.
Okay, then.
It is not Kamen Rider related. Carry on.
Maybe it has something to do with Night
These
Watch.
are not the excuses you are looking for.
Okay, then. Moving on. People are still being bitchy at each other.
I also like how in episode I was expecting that fight with the squid dude to be a two-parter thing, because it was like 3 minutes until the episode was over and he still hasn't transformed, and I was like,
Yeah, they do that a lot in Faiz, at least in both these episodes. Literally, the fight is like right at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
yeah, it was like,
holy crap.
well, I guess they have the little quick scene of him doing the rider kick from the episode before, but you get like no rider until like the very like last 5 seconds of the episode almost.
Yeah, that was like a bit much.
It was like, hi, I'm the regular guy. Oh, the episode's almost over. Engine. Rider kick. Bye.
Can we talk about how after getting rider kicked, he decided to get up, get in a car, drive like 5 blocks.
Yeah, that was impressive.
As he was dying.
Yeah, that was impressive.
You know, I'm gonna go
back to his human form.
Yeah, he reverted back to his human form, got in a car, drove however far he had to find
Yuka and Kiba.
Yeah, because they just booked it
and
after.
then step out of the car and be like, "This is how we die."
Yep.
Yeah, and that's also conveniently when the Orphenoch came in.
Oh, yeah. Because we had Kaido come about thanks to Squid Man just blasting everybody in that one place, which apparently Takumi used to work at.
Yeah. Can I also mention the very, very, very blatant foreshadowing for those few of us that know what happens in the series?
Oh, you
I'll not
mean...
say what it is, but you guys know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching it and I was like, no, that's not, no. I'm trying to say stuff without saying stuff right now.
A couple other bits I liked was Takumi was basically shut Mari up after she started talking about her parents and whatnot. It's like the whole tragic heroine with dead parents trope. It's just like, I don't like that. Shut up.
Yeah, just turn into Kamen Rider Batman. Oh wait, that was
someone
before
beat you
this.
to that.
They were a season too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, what else is... Anything else from episode 5, or should we just move on to 6?
I mean, I've just been hopscotching around to both, so...
That is true, which... Episode 6, we have Kiba showing the signs of him trying to hang on to his humanity, which, that was nice. If you know how the show ends, then that makes more sense, to be something interest.
I just feel bad for the dude.
Oh yeah, all that shit happens to him, and now he's stuck with this crap.
No, the fact that he got into, like, the easiest to be able to walk away from Fender Bender and somehow ended up in a coma. And both of his parents died. Woke up, murdered his girlfriend, or his ex-girlfriend, I don't want to say uncle, or his like, was it like his cousin or whatever, or some type of...
Yeah, I think it was his cousin, because I don't think he ever went after his uncle.
Yeah, killed his cousin, and then was picked up by this chick in a weird outfit and was like, by the way, you're Satan. Welcome to the party.
Speaking of smart brain lady, she had an interesting outfit for episode 6. She changed out of whatever she had to some all-black attire. Instead of having the blue streaks, she had white streaks in her hair.
Damn you, medic. Oh, wait. If Medic and Ryoma had a kid.
Oh, gosh.
Not Jacket Ryoma, Lemon Ryoma.
Yes, we know which Ryoma you mean.
I gotta specify for all the people listening.
Well, that's assuming Medic's got the, never mind, we've had that discussion before. Moving on. Yeah, other random thing for episode 6, just Keiichiro's out shopping, and he suddenly has to run from cops, and that goes nowhere.
Yeah, that
was like, that?
Never explained.
Yeah, that was
wait,
just...
wait, I know what it was.
What?
He was passing out papers for the laundry service or whatever they're doing. Technically, that's soliciting, which is not allowed in stores.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that confused me at first, and literally right as you said that, I was like, oh!
Too bad they never really specify that.
Yeah, that just kind of doesn't go anywhere. He just starts running, dumps his cart, and just nothing happens afterwards.
Yeah, you literally see, there's a quick scene where he hands one of those flyers to a woman, and then like 5 seconds later, the officers come up, and he's like, fuck.
Yeah. Which I have to wonder, though, were they already in the store and they just happened to see him doing this, or did someone literally call the cops on him to be like, hey, someone's handing out shit
security
here? Okay, if it was just store security, I could see that. Although I've never known a grocery store to have a security force.
I know several.
Like, places like a Walmart or a Kmart or something I could understand, but a grocery store?
There's a grocery store near me called Mark's that has a armed security guard at the door.
I've just never seen it personally, so I don't know. Whatever.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Also, can we mention how fast from like the episode 5-second rider kick?
Oh yeah, that was a quick kick.
Oh no, I gotta fight. Click, 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 kick.
Yeah, that one went really damn fast.
I mean, hell, I think his kick from episode 1 that wasn't even a rider kick wasn't even that fast.
Yeah, well, that's because episode 1 was a bunch of fumbling.
It was some really tight editing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
like it was just like boom, 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 boom. It was.
Yeah, it was like I don't even think you could do that fast in the Battle Rap board games. Jesus.
Yeah, you probably have to charge it up for that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the scene. Another note for mine is the scene with Kaido and his nose.
You mean the thing where he like sneezed and almost killed them all?
No, I meant the thing where he's like the Scorpinok, Orphenoch.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because remember he goes to get a job interview and then he like
I was thinking of someone else. My bad. I was thinking of
Keitaro.
yeah, where he sneezed and almost murdered them both in a car crash. Episode 1 flashbacks.
Oh yeah, Kaido and his nose when he's like starts having his Orphenoch powers kick up. It's like
Yep.
you have an irregular heartbeat, don't you? And then he just smells like all this stuff and it's like
The heartbeat thing made sense because they
yes, I know the X-ray.
Yeah, that made sense. But then he's like, by the way, you had McDonald's for breakfast, Burger King for lunch, and for dinner, and you have the scent of smoking and blood on you.
It's pretty much just the thing with all Orphenochs that they have incredibly heightened senses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't consider smell associated with a scorpion.
I don't really think it's related to their animal. It's just them being an Orphenoch.
Yeah,
well,
I
that's
could
true
see that.
because how the fuck does a horse hear super well?
Yeah.
Well,
And
no,
like-
horses do have sensitive ears, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
how
we
did
went
he?
over
How
that.
did he like telescopic zoom to the end of the hallway with his eyes?
Oh yeah, that thing he did.
Yeah.
my brand.
So yeah, I
All
just
these-
think like, and they said, didn't they? And I assume he was just kind of taking a little while to fully awaken, which is why he just suddenly could smell everything.
Yeah, and then later, after getting erotically asphyxiated to death, he comes back to life and just goes on his murder spree.
Until Takumi gets in the way, and then
Yeah.
Kiba catches them, and things start going.
Yeah, let's talk
Haywire.
about that awesome reign of events of they're driving down the street, this guy's getting murdered by the Scorpinok Orphenoch, and then the dude happens to sneeze and almost murder them by driving into a giant column under a bridge.
Oh yes, I forgot. Keitaro and his sneezes of like he doesn't like what bad people or dirty people or something like that.
Something like he's allergic to bad people or some type of bullshit like that. Which, speaking of which, he sneezed by
Yeah, no, he sneezed next to Yuka, which that was ironically funny.
yeah, that's gonna be awkward later on in life.
I don't even
met
remember.
this girl who dropped her phone and I gave it to her. Next thing you know, I sneezed. I sneezed near bad people, and she's just sitting there like, fuck. That was me. Shit.
Oh, trust me, that whole thing with him and Yuka gets so much worse later.
Oh, I bet.
And at the end of the episode with Kaido, Takumi, and Kiba, that's beginning the very, very long misunderstanding that
The
could be
longest
easily solved if
misunderstanding
people
that
just talk
goes
to each
all the
other.
way Into Drive, mind you.
Sorry to say that again.
This misunderstanding lasts all the way into Drive, mind you. That's a long time.
Yeah, something like that. But...
Not really, but let's go with it.
Most of the characters were in the Drive specials. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, except for
a
one.
bunch.
Well, he was, teaching all the Orphenochs how to go to school. I'm just talking out of my ass right now.
Yeah, you really are. Mostly because the whole plot of the Yongo special was that, because reasons Takumi shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And and the
So on
lies
and so
of
forth.
Faiz denies the lives. I don't know.
Whatever. We did Yongo special.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
I feel
Whatever,
like
Yongo special.
after we're done with Faiz, we should go back to the Yongo special and like talk about it again now after seeing the whole show.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I will gladly do that.
But yeah. So anyway, you guys got anything else for this one?
No. Good
Literally the only other scene I have anything to comment on is Mari's super stupid sob story when they get caught trying to break into Kiba's car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that he doesn't call the cops on them, it's like, these guys were breaking into your car.
See, here's the thing that I would have done if I was in that situation. Although the problem is that I have like the audience knowledge of like, hey, Kiba's trying to figure out shit at Smart Brain. They want to figure out shit too. Could have just explained that to him, but that would have not worked out. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, but when that guy came down, it would have just been like, I locked my keys in my car.
Except you would know that's not their car.
Okay, 50-50 he does or he doesn't. It looked like it was an apartment building parking lot. I'd take a 50-50 on that. Roll a persuasion. Hope it works.
That one's been playing a lot of D&D lately.
I've been watching a lot of D&D.
Ah. But yeah, that's just thought that was really, really stupid. Your sob story. It's just like, really?
I just ignored it. I wasn't even paying attention for that entire scene. I was just like, oh, that he doesn't want to arrest him. Okay, I'm just going to ignore this until a little bit later after this scene's done.
Yep. And the sequence of events of Takumi just taking all the shit.
Yeah.
Which apparently that's also been in his past, considering the guy at the one shot that he used to work at and brings that up.
Yeah. And, what's his name? Orphenoch. They're the only two that get the fancy nicknames. They're the only two.
Orphenoch and Scorpinok.
Yes. The Orphenoch, and the Scorpinok. When he breaks into that big white room or whatever.
Yeah.
And they never show what he saw.
No, you just see a smart brain chick like, that's cute. It's like,
how did you get up there so damn fast?
That was creepy, but I'll let that slide because I'm assuming you're an Orphenoch and you have some sort of mystical bullshit that we don't know and never know because reasons.
Yeah, you kind of just assume she's an Orphenoch.
Yeah.
Never get to see what she looks like, though.
Maybe she's a fucking robot. Who knows?
Everyone just kind of assumes she's a butterfly.
Yeah, because of the whole smart brain imagery and all that bullshit.
Yep.
And the butterfly with the broken wing.
Yep.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, I don't think we have anything else for this at this point.
Nope.
Yeah.
Shall we get on to rant mode?
Sure. Who wants to go first?
As I said earlier, our topic is just things in Toku that kind of bug us and whatever else of that nature.
I think I'm going to go last.
Yeah, we'll save you for last.
First, since your thing's about
mine's pretty short, and mine is basically most rider belt systems have some logical way to shut them off. Well, mostly I'm talking Heisei stuff, and
such as like taking a shift car out of the driver and pressing the Hisatsu button.
Yeah, like there's that.
Or removing an icon and closing the ghost driver, or removing no, that one doesn't really count either.
Single driver?
Nope, that doesn't work because in the show they just close the lock seeds.
Yeah, just close the lock and then you can pull it off and it turns off.
Yeah.
If you close it and pull it off, then it shuts off. But if you just take it off and change the lock seed, it doesn't.
Which I do like that. That's actually the way that works.
Yeah, they actually they don't
thought that out.
Yeah, they don't actually outright say it in the show, but that's how they always do it.
Yeah, and they actually thought that little detail out.
Yeah.
The one belt, there's three specific belts I am confused by are decades, doubles, and Oz's. Because they use the same motion for changing out forms or whatever as they do for shutting off. For decade, he pulls the thing open, slots a card in, closes it up, card activates, and if he wants to detension, he just simply pulls the thing open and suddenly it all vanishes and his belt goes nowhere.
I think it's more like he opens it and then I don't think it's more like he opens it and closes it without him inserting a card.
No, he literally will just pull the thing open and then his whole costume vanishes, including his belt. It just goes away from his waist.
Okay.
You have no idea where that thing goes. And same problem with
space, like every Kamen Rider belt.
Same problem with the O's driver, actually. That little detail. It's
I think because with O's, it's like he takes out the coins and it just disappears, and that's it.
No, he doesn't ever pulls out the coins when he does that. He'll literally, it's the same thing. It's like he'll snap the belt horizontal when he wants to change out the coins and then put it in its weird tilt position to scan them, but then when he wants to dehension, he just snaps it horizontal, doesn't pull anything out, and just disappears.
Yeah, it would have been a little nice if there was like some sort of like chips behind where you put the coins.
And the buckle goes away too. It just vanishes.
Yeah, but like, it'd be cool if like they actually thought that out and put like a chip in the back of the O's driver, so where if you scan without any coins, it'll make a dehension sound.
See, that could have worked, but
because then you just have it where he takes out all the coins and then scans it, and then the belt disappears.
But yeah, that just confuses me. And then doubles is similar. It's like you have to keep it closed to put in chip or the guy memories, open it up to activate them, and then when he wants to dehension, he just closes the thing. And the suit goes away, although at least this one doesn't just vanish, considering the way that driver functions.
Yeah. So is that basically it? Just why do the belts just deactivate the suit without any real, like, reason?
Well, why is it those three specifically? Because if you look back in all of the Rider history, most of them do not do that.
Agito,
okay, yeah. I don't know about those because I've not seen those seasons, but...
Kuga and Agito can kind of be explained because they, for one thing, were very mystical.
Another they just kind of energize themselves.
Yeah, for one thing, they're
like
very
a
mystical.
Biological belt than a mechanical belt.
Yeah, for one thing, they're very mystical. Another thing, they're like directly linked to the user.
Yeah, they just kind of energize.
So the user could probably go, "Hey, I want to transform. I want to detransform," and they detransform.
Yeah,
right. And then with like Ryuki, it's more or less a slide the deck out.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Faiz, it's literally you pull.
Does Faiz have a dehension thing?
He pulls
you pull. Yeah, you pull the phone out and like hit a button on.
Yeah, you hit enter again, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. He hasn't shown it in the show yet, but it does have
he does do it eventually.
Okay.
And then Blades is pretty much just flip the thing back over and pull the card out.
Yeah. Or close it, depending on your rider.
Kabuto,
Kabuto, the Zector just flies away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kabuto, doesn't he like close the Zector and then slide it out and it flies away?
No, it literally would just fly itself away.
Yeah, like it flies away and the suit just kind of like disintegrates.
Yeah. So if the Zector doesn't like you, it will fuck you over and just leave you.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Deno, it's literally just pull the belt off and then just goes somewhere.
Yeah.
We're just gonna ignore Hibiki because he's not a Kamen Rider technically.
And I don't know how any of that stuff works. I've never seen Hibiki.
It's music. It's a tone.
Well, they're not even they're Oni, so it's basically like it's not even a transformation. It's them literally like mutating, almost
or something like that.
In my opinion, I think Hibiki would have been a little better as a Sentai series.
Probably.
I think it would have just been better as its own standalone thing.
That too,
because you wouldn't have to compare it to anything else.
Yeah, it was originally going to be a standalone thing, but then they were like, people might not watch this. Let's turn it into a comic.
They're literally like, hey, we need a Rider series for this year. Hey, this looks neat. Let's use that.
Yeah.
Instead, it could have been its own standalone thing. It could have become something like Garo.
Because if I remember correctly, at the time there was this whole push in Japan for kids to get more interested in like Japanese older Japanese culture. So, which is why they chose Hibiki, because it was very laced within Japanese culture, because they're like Oni and musical instruments and
yeah, I can see that. But anyway, and then like still running down the line, Kiba's the only like odd one out of that, because it's like Kiba just detaches.
Yeah.
But it has to be like under that one circumstance of him not using a futsal, because he does that with the wake up.
Yeah, with wake up, he just kind of flies off and hits the leg brace thing.
Yeah, and then even the secondary riders for that one is like the belt just comes off and it powers them down or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you get to the weird trio that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Which even the birth driver had a logical shut off for how bizarre that thing was.
Yeah. Wasn't he just pulled the coin out?
Yeah. Even though he loaded other ones into it, the first one he pops into it still
as long as
sits
there's
there.
one in the belt.
Yeah.
Like there's always at least one in the belt.
Well, I feel like the way that thing functions is because you never see him pull coins out of it for any other reason. It's basically the first one he slots in is the one that sits at the bottom, and then anything else he pops in for his gear.
It essentially gets burnt. Like, I don't want to say like burned, but it gets like burned up as like power.
Yeah, it just gets used up automatically.
I get when I watched O's, I came up with this theory about how specifically the Birth Buster works.
I mean the gun.
Yeah, basically, you know, both of you know how the birth driver works, right? Like there's the cell metals, and they shoot out and go down to the little chamber at the bottom.
Yeah.
Basically, if you notice the energy the birth buster shoots out is in the shape of cell metals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, it's not. Basically, the thing is, it's not shooting at the cell metals themselves. It's basically taking the energy out of the cell metal and shooting it.
Yeah, because then he has to like pop the thing off the bottom and dump it.
Yeah, and then
like
the cell metals that are in the bottom chamber are basically like the shells. So like the shells of bullets in an actual gun. Which that's just how I always thought it worked.
Which I love. There's this one episode with Ankh complaining about that.
Yeah, it's so wasteful.
Yup. And then again, cell metals come by like the bucket load most of the time. So
they come by the giant milk container.
Yeah, and then later Birth gets upgraded, so all of his like arms have like magnetic powers. So he just like swings the crane and just gets a giant glob of cell metals.
He does that already. He did that when he first came in.
Yeah, I think it was just the drill got upgraded a little bit.
Yeah,
so it could work on like
drill arm was upgraded.
Yeah, so it'll work on like the what were they? The greed.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the greeds.
Yeah, he uses on like Uva, and then it's like he hits a core metal. It's like, oh, it doesn't work on those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my thing. It's just why are those so weird? Like, I literally could not think of anything else but that.
If you want an actual explanation, it's because they couldn't think of a way, because the toy didn't work that way.
Yeah, I guess not.
Because the toys don't usually take detransformation into account.
Well, see, for the O's one, I could have they could have figured out something for it, like pull the coins out while it's tilted,
horizontal, and then tilted sideways.
Have him yank the coins out while it's still tilted, and then flip it horizontal, and it would power down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That I could see working.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just still do not understand the way doubles or decades work for that. Or why they just vanish, or at least decades vanishes.
Because it's decade.
It actually is another thing. It's like, well, most belts actually will stay on their users right after they power down. It's just those two that disappear for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got nothing else, so...
So, my thing that always bugs me about Kamen Rider is, I like to call it Ghost Driver System, or Syndrome, where you'll have a rider of some sort, and the belt just magically ka-chucks onto them out of no reason. Like, they don't grab and, like, wrap around, like, Philip in Double, how the Double driver just appears on him.
Well, that's just the way that system works.
Yeah, that's just kind of, that was kind of explained in Double.
Right, but it's just like, hi, I'm gonna read this, belt, I guess I can't finish this chapter of Harry Potter now, fucker. and then the belt disappears. Again, it's like, oh, you want me to put okay, I'll put the thing in, and it's gone. And now I'm in a coma.
Well, you've never actually seen Double, right?
I've seen a couple episodes of Double, yes.
Well, there is a reason why that happens with Philip.
Yeah.
It's like their minds combine into
well,
one.
Basically what happens is that Philip or Shotaro puts the belt on, and the copy of it goes to Philip. He powers up his memory and then sticks it in there, and then it gets sent to Shotaro, including his consciousness.
Right, yeah.
And so that's why they're a 2-in-1 type deal, and Philip will just pass out because his consciousness isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And like
and isn't it reversed when he uses Fang?
Yep.
Yeah, basically Philip or Shotaro gets his sent through the Joker memory.
Which is also why he had Fang Joker was hard to use, because Philip's body's a lot weaker.
Well, that and he went nuts the first couple of times he used it.
But yeah, the thing that just bugs me is when Like, a belt just magically forms. Kuga and Agito I'll let slide because they're mystical, magical bullshits. But when, like, you're just walking, it's like, oh no, there's trouble. Belts appear, like in Ghost.
Well, with Agito it was magic, with Kuga it was more like weird ancient alchemy or whatever.
Wasn't it like a stone in his
Yeah,
stomach?
it's a stone that is... It's kind of weird. It's sort of like...
Pseudo, it's a stone inside of him, which is why I count that as magic.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, like ancient pseudoscience alchemy bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Philosopher's Stone and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Ryuki is the only appears out of nowhere belt I will let go because they actually go towards a mirror and then the belt comes from the mirror onto them and I allow that. That's fine. When you see the belt coming from something, that's fine. When the belt just appears, it's like, okay.
I think one of the best examples of that is Kabuto.
Kabuto and...
Belts are just kind of there.
Well, to be fair, there's only 2 of them who use belts.
True, but with Kabuto, like with Tendo, like he just kind of has the belt on him.
4 of them use belts.
Right, I forgot about the hoppers.
Yeah.
And then, everyone else uses a wrist bracer.
Those don't even get explained at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, where did those come from?
Yeah.
You know what the best thing about that is? So it's like, most of the guys have, like, a regular, like, normal sector of, like, a belt or essentially a wrist bracer. Then you got the dude who's walking around with a giant gun handle and the dude walking around with a sword.
I finally figured it out, Drake's motif.
What?
He's a dragonfly.
No. I'm talking about his masked form. He's a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because he has, like, the air-breathing apparatus, and the gun handle is like airplane joystick.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I always thought he kind of looked like a fighter pilot, but...
Yeah. I finally figured that out. I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and, you have Kamen Rider Scorpion walking around with a giant sword everywhere.
Yeah, that is definitely the least wieldly henshin device in
it's like, okay.
Probably since Geki Chopper.
Yeah, but at least you got a cool blade.
True.
Yeah, but still,
you got something to defend yourself.
Yeah, but still, it's like, okay, a belt makes sense, the wrist thing makes sense, the gun handle thing makes sense because you can put that in your pocket. Where the hell are you going to put a sword, motherfucker?
Called a scabbard.
Exactly. Well, is he just walking around Japan with a sword?
I don't see why not.
I mean, it's Japan.
For that?
It's Japan.
I'm sure people walk around with weirder...
Well, I guess because it's purple, it looks fake and all that jazz, but still, you're walking around with a fully unsheathed sword. Number 1, you're probably cutting up your ankles. And number 2, you're walking around with a giant sword.
Well, the problem is you don't even really see him carrying it around much. It just kind of appears.
Yeah, he just kind of pulls it out of his ass.
Appears out of nowhere. And then the ghost drivers just basically appear for convenience purposes.
Well,
I didn't do the hand thing, the belt's just there all of a sudden.
Well, that kind of still makes sense because it's spiritual and...
Yes, it makes sense with Ghost. Now
I wonder how freaking Necrom's brace is going to work.
He's just going to be wearing the damn thing forever.
From what I see, it kind of like does like flicks, kind of like the shift cars do.
No, I mean, how is it going to, like, is it just going to be always there on his arm, even when he's untransformed, or is it going to appear like the Ghost Driver?
Probably going to appear like the Ghost Driver.
I'm going to say he's just going to be wearing that thing forever. Because why the hell not?
Yeah.
I mean, the Tokugers ran around with that giant thing on their wrist.
Well, the Toku brace was smaller than that thing.
Actually, no, wait. Did they run around with the thing on their wrist all the time?
Nope. It just kind of, like, appeared.
Or were they just carrying it and then they'd snap it on when they need it?
I think it was more of it just, like, appeared and then they slide the trains into it.
I thought I remember them wearing them. Like, just round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so, too, but then I'm thinking about it, it's like, those things are way too big.
Yeah.
Since we're also bringing in Sentai into this...
Well, it said Toku in general, so if you got anything for Sentai, throw it out.
I was more just, in my mind, just on the lines of Kamen Rider. You know what else is really awkward for, transformation weapon?
What?
Let's see, not 5. When 7 of you people.
How many Rangers were there again?
I'm sorry, I'm doing math, okay? There's a lot of people and certain ones do certain things. When you have 7 people of a group walking down the street with revolvers on their sides and then one dude with a sword on his back. That's not gonna, be like, those guys have guns on their hips. And that one is wearing very, very, very short shorts. Cameraman, get a shot of that.
Don't worry, guys. They were walking through the abandoned warehouse district.
Oh, yeah, you're referring to the shore users.
It's just like, here's the saviors of the universe. Do we have to wear the giant holster and gun right on our side, Angry Bird dude? Yes.
Well, where else are you going to keep it?
I mean, yeah, I get that it's yellow and it looks ridiculous, but...
Do we absolutely have to shout RPM getting gear at the top of our
Exactly. It's like, so these guns that don't shoot bullets, you put a battery that has a spike on one side and a button into this gun that's...
You insert your bravery. Brave if you will.
Yeah, it's like... So I got this gun you call a revolver. I don't put bullets in the spinning part, so it's technically not a revolver. And it shoots a dinosaur head while making samba music.
Because why not?
Okay.
Or if it's the Giga Gabba revolver, hard rock.
Okay, so what you're telling me is I put this ridiculous looking thing on my wrist. A wing will fold down. It will shoot it will shoot a giant pterodactyl head out, and turn
while playing electric guitar shamisen music.
Yeah, and then you have the 2 other guys. We just click the battery.
We just kind of click our battery and hold them up in the air.
Well, they're dead, so
yeah, they're dead.
Well, yeah,
they don't even really. They could just stay as Rangers all they wanted because they're dead.
I just like to think of it like this. We used a gun to transform. I used a wrist bracer. We used the batteries.
Just kind of hold the batteries up in the air and reference Power Rangers Jungle Fury.
And I have a rock.
Because Spirit Rangers.
Okay.
You know what? So it would have been silly with those sunglasses, or actually would have made sense for them to do, sort of. Just wear the damn things everywhere, just don't have them activated. It wouldn't have looked as weird as just keeping them in this little side pouch they had.
One good thing I will say about the sunglasses is I like how they actually became part of the helmets during the morph.
Yeah, that was actually a neat touch.
So I will give the sunglasses that.
Yeah,
that's another thing that kind of bugs me, is when Sentai/Ranger series has their morpher, and then it just vanishes after they morph.
Yep.
Like,
I think one of the only Sentai.
That is literally the only one that does that.
Yeah, that's the only one I can think of that didn't do that.
Or that does do that, you mean?
Yeah.
Because every other one, it's either on their arm or in a pouch somewhere, but that one, it just goes poof!
Yeah.
Because, newsflash, they don't do anything with them besides that.
Die Ranger.
Yeah, that's true enough, but I haven't really seen much of Die Ranger, so I didn't really think about that one.
I just thought of it because of MMPR White. He didn't have wrist thingies.
Yeah, well, MMPR White had an actual morpher thing. It just wasn't ever on his belt.
Well, yeah, in America he did, but in Japan he had the crappy wrist thingy because that's what they used for Magna Defender.
Actually, he had his own version.
Yeah, but still, he used a Die Ranger morpher.
Yeah, but it wasn't the White Ranger one. It was the regular one.
Right, but it was a Die Ranger, as in the show, morpher.
Yeah, I know.
So it was like from the... Yeah. Also, where the hell did the Gokai phones go?
Into Hammerspace.
Yeah,
exactly.
Into Gokai Hammerspace.
I never saw that Megazord.
Considering they keep pulling it. They always put their hands behind their back to pull the thing out. At least Marvelous
At least
does.
they explain where the keys come from.
Yeah. I'd like to take a quote from Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the multiplayer heist missions. You'd be amazed what a person can do with, or basically the entire thing is making fun of Grand Theft Auto in Grand Theft Auto about how a guy just pulls a rocket launcher out of nowhere, and then he makes a joke about how, well, I mean, you'd be amazed what people can stick up there, and it's like, oh, okay. I didn't want to know I have like 500 guns up my hoo-ha.
I just remember there was another device that kind of falls into what I was blabbing about earlier. The end driver.
Yep.
Then again, you never see him power down either, except
that's a confusing thing. When does it, like, you think the way it would work is that if he's not holding the gun, he would power down.
Well, here's my thing about that is that, or at least with the way that thing works, is you'd think that because he's shown slotting several cars into the thing all the time, that the main engine car would just sit there and wait to be removed for it to power down.
You'd think.
But no, the cards just disappear when he uses them, which...
Yep.
Same thing with Decades Driver. The cards just vanish.
Yep, just like the birth coins.
Or even with Ryuki, the visors would eat their cards and just be like, where did the cards go?
Yeah.
True.
Card writers make no sense.
I think they're the ones that made sense for Blade.
I know, because it'd be like...
I don't know anything about Blade, but what happened with those?
They turned into the symbols and then kind of like absorbed themselves into the writer. It was weird.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. But at least like the cards would go.
Yeah, at least they actually vanished when they used them.
Well, the other thing is you can assume was like when they power back down, all those cards just go back to their holders in their weapons.
Yeah. So with Blade, it actually made sense.
Well, with Blade and Garen anyway, because the other two didn't have weapon holders for their cards.
Yeah, they just had a little thing on the side of their belts or whatever.
Yeah, they just had a little card holder.
Yeah, I haven't really seen all of Blade.
Yeah, I've seen a third of Blade, and I know the ending, which is why I haven't been very motivated to finish it.
Yeah, but yeah, so.
Yeah, so that's the end of my rant.
So yeah, Biff, what's your thing?
My thing is the fact that Toei apparently wants us to think that all Rider and Sentai take place in the same world. And I think that is absolute fucking bullshit. You honestly want me to believe that I could be in Zawame, get on a highway, drive for a couple miles, and end up in Futo. Like, I'm sorry, I can't buy that.
Not only that, Zawami is right next to the Drive City.
Yeah.
And because of that, apparently in the middle of one of the other Kamen Rider series is a global freeze happened.
And an invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird pill to swallow.
The Grongi killing thousands of people, and the unknown, and the mirror monsters attacking, and the undead,
and Ryoma,
the Makamo, and the worms,
the US being nuked,
and the Imagine, and the Fang. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Well, that whole thing didn't really start until Decade.
Yeah,
Decade's the one that did it.
Really pushing that, which
I
hate, because okay, so this I might as well explain how I think the universes work. So I guess I'll start with Kamen Rider because that's the one I originally made the theory for. I'll start with Showa. Ichigo to Zekros take place in one world.
Yeah, because doesn't a bunch of the Showa stuff like cross over with each other?
Yeah, they all cross over with each other.
They also crossed over.
The first 10 riders take place in one world. Black and Black RX take place in another. There are people who argue that RX takes place in an alternate universe, but whatever. I'll just say they both take place in the same world for simple.
I thought the setup for Black RX built off of Black.
Yeah, but people think that people who hate Black RX, which is understandable, I guess, say that it doesn't really work with a lot of the stuff involving Black. So basically, some people think that it was like some weird divergent timeline or whatever. So okay. I just say it's the same world to keep things simplistic. And then you have the movie writers, which Shin obviously takes place in its own world, and I guess Jay and Zeno could take place in the same world, but it's probably easier to keep them separate.
I have not seen any of those movies, so
Yeah.
I just know
Zeno's good. Jay is kind of
Shin is just fucked up.
yeah.
Dude gets beheaded.
Plus, there's the first riders.
Yeah, they take place in their own world, obviously. Fun fact: many people Crunch. What was it? All Riders versus Die Shocker, I think.
Yeah.
Was it all? Yeah, it was All Riders versus Die Shocker. The the Rider Man that showed up in that.
Oh yeah.
Played by Gak.
Gak just decided to have a role.
People speculate that that's actually Rider Man from the first and next universe.
I could see that. I could honestly believe that.
Yeah, and apparently he actually had a fight, but it got cut from the movie.
I might have gotten cut from the theatrical one. I think the director's cut has it, because I kind of remember that scene.
Maybe.
Well, we're going to have to look at that later.
It's been years since I've seen All Riders vs. Die Shocker.
Well, considering what we're doing next month, you might want to go brush up.
Yeah, I probably will.
I'm going to have to at some point, too. So.
Yeah.
Decade.
So yes. Now we get to Showa, which...
You mean Heisei?
Heisei, yes, Heisei. Heisei, which, again, is simple up until Decade. All the riders take place in their separate universes, except people argue that Kuga and Agito take place in the same world, but...
I mean, I could believe that, kind of. Don't they lead into each other?
I could believe would be in the same universe.
Yeah, but basically one of the head developers, like the head people behind Kuga and Agito, basically said no, they don't. Because...
this, and this.
Yes, because basically, for all those who have seen Kuga out there, he believes that the events of Agito would basically undermine everything that Kuga was fighting for in his series, which I agree with. So yeah, they take place in separate worlds. So yeah, and now we get up to Decade, which is where stuff gets interesting.
Well, doesn't Ryuki have like the mirror world too, which like
the mirror world is basically just the mirror world is really weird.
Emphasize like Ryuki retcon. Like
another...
Yeah, also that since the mirror world retconned itself, so yeah, let's just not talk about that.
Yeah, but in Decade it's okay.
Shh.
I'll shut up.
Different rules.
Okay, basically, Decade, there is I always had this theory about how the AR worlds, which is the worlds that Decade visited, were created. The plot of Decade is that all of the worlds with the previous 9 riders are like basically starting to merge. And when I first watched Decade, I came up with the theory that the reason the AR worlds are so different is that they were created by the worlds starting to bleed into each other. So they were kind of fucking each other up and changing things in them, which is why the AR worlds are so weird. That was my theory, anyway.
The real answer, of course, is we couldn't get all the actors back.
Yeah, so we just had to pull shit out of our asses. But that was my, like, in-universe headcanon theory thing.
That would also explain why Kiva's like a 5-year-old.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my, like, own headcanon explanation for why that happened.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it's about the kid that plays Kiva. He was in an episode of Geki Ranger.
So yeah, but obviously
by the end... Rangers was in an episode of Ghost.
Anyway.
So yeah, by the end of Decade, all of the AR worlds are wiped from existence, so we don't have to worry about them cluttering up stuff. From there, it gets a little bit simpler. Again, all of the Neo Heisei riders take place in their own separate worlds. But then, Ghost had to come and fuck everything up.
You mean Ghost?
Because we had this one little fucking icon screwed everything
over. That, yeah.
One little fucking icon screwed everything over. Like, usually references to other in different Rider series and other series could be tossed up to, that's just a little throwaway thing, it doesn't really impact the plot. But no, the
Newton.
the interaction between Ghost and Drive is integral to Ghost and Drive's plots. So there's no way to get around it. So I guess they are the first series that share a universe, which I guess I'm okay with because there could be worse series to share universes like Gaim with anything else.
I was gonna say Gaim technically shares with no, because the movies are their own universes.
Yeah, right? That's what I was getting to. Basically, I have two kind of adjacent theories. Like there's all the separate Rider worlds and all the separate Sentai worlds, and then from there's
the crossover worlds for each, and then the movie worlds.
There you go. There's the crossover worlds for Sentai and Rider, which is where they all coexist, or just selective ones coexist.
Yeah.
And then from there is the superhero Tyson world, where they all coexist.
The world where shit doesn't make any sense.
Everything happens.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I'm gonna call it like the Nintendo universe. How you have Mario hating Bowser in one thing, Mario and Bowser being best friends in two others, and then Mario beating the living shit out of Mega Man in another.
So that is always how I rationalize team ups, is that they are all canon in their own universes. Yeah. So they do take place, say Kyoryu versus Go Busters. It doesn't take place in either the Kyoryu universe or the Go Busters universe. It either takes place in its own universe or in the team up universe, depending on what you want to go with.
Yeah, that technically exists in like a big team up universe.
Yeah, so that would probably if you want to keep it really simple, then it's just there's all the separate Sentai universes, and then there's one big team up universe, which is where Gokaiger took place.
Yeah, that's a good thing that all the team up universe or movies for Sentai don't introduce mechs or whatever that they pull out near the end of the show.
Yeah.
Unlike the summer movies, which tend to do that.
Yeah, but the summer movies can be in canon with their own show and not really affect too much.
Yeah, also,
pretty much.
They don't really... Plus, also in Sentai, they don't bring in random rangers normally.
Yeah, which is why I like to think that Ninja is, I'm going to say, the second Sentai to take place in the team-up universe after Gokaiger.
Yeah.
Because of, Ninja Red and
technically you can count Bokenger considering what they did. And Gal Ranger.
True. Yeah, except those were separate movies.
So they were movies, but it could
they were movies, so they could just kind of, since they were movies and not directly connected to the show itself, they could be considered just their own thing in the team up universe.
Yeah, I was more about Kyoryu Navy. About how he appeared in a movie and then he was in a couple episodes.
Yeah, but the thing is
Death Ryuger.
Yeah, that was the Kyoryuger summer movie, which wasn't directly connected to any other Sentai besides Kyoryuger.
Right,
so it could just take place in the Kyoryuger universe.
Yeah, but he exists there, unlike in Kamen Rider. There's hi, I'm Kamen Rider Sango. I exist in both the show and the movie.
Well, that was just because weird time-space bullshit.
Yeah, wibbly wobbly bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have stuff like the Yango special, where it's I'm another dimension from this other dimension from this other dimension.
I was created by even more time fuck up bullshit.
Time travel in movies is a very bizarre thing.
It's a very easy thing to screw up.
Can I ask a decade question real fast?
Sure.
Did the Faiz in Decade ever die?
No.
Well, technically, the Faiz in Decade was erased from existence after all the AR worlds disappeared. But
okay, that took out my theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you watch Decade, you'll understand.
Yeah.
How weird
my
that
whole
show
theory
is.
was going to be the Faiz that's fucking up the Yango or the Sango Yango special is the Faiz from the Decade universe and not the actual Faiz.
No,
that's why it fucks
considering
up.
the Faiz in Decade is not that Faiz.
Yeah, it's not Takumi.
Okay.
Actually, I think his name was Takumi, but he had a different last name.
Yeah, that's what they did. They all had the same first name but different last names, I believe.
Yeah, and there was a whole...
Yeah.
Okay, small spoiler for the Decade thing, because you're going to have to watch it eventually, but Faiz in Decade took place in a high school.
Yeah. It was like proto Forze,
Something like that.
kind of. Well, it took place
Well,
so
okay then.
yeah, it took place in a high school. So
And Ankh was one of the bad guys. Because the
well,
actor who played Ankh is in those episodes.
oh, I
Okay,
forgot about
I got
that.
something to look forward to at least.
So yeah, I still really like my theory about the AR worlds, in that the fact they were the normal worlds, but they were all starting to kind of blend together.
Yeah.
So they were creating these weird, fucked up worlds that weren't quite any of them. They were like taking bits and pieces from each of them because they were
Basically
starting
turning into
together.
like a giant amalgamation.
Yeah, basically.
Which is why Kiva's a little kid and
Yeah.
all that jazz.
Yeah, because even in the first episode, when the actual Watcheru talks about the worlds colliding, you see them start to merge together, and that's where I kind of came up with a theory that maybe because they're merging together, they're starting to affect each other and kind of screwing up everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess also it's kind of what created the extra worlds from.
Oh yeah, the other ones.
The other ones I guess maybe then we have the world of Shinkenger, which I don't even know.
Yeah, I
guess it was its own weird branched off universe or something. I don't really know.
I'm gonna think of it like this: like after all the universes re-separated, they caused a quote unquote Big Bang that's still creating to this day the newer Kamen Rider universes. Your Gaims, your Drives, your Ghosts, your Doubles, your Forzes.
That could be some. That could be
a couple
That's
of those
definitely
planets, or one of those planets needs to get sucked into a black hole.
That definitely is a theory.
Because like the way you're explaining where all the planets collided, they have to like separate somehow.
Yeah.
And then because of that, all their timelines being set correct could have caused a sciencey bullshit that creates the
but that answers
other
see
universes.
A Decade movie.
Yeah.
See a Decade X Double.
Yep. Also, maybe it also could have created those weird other worlds, and maybe even the Shinkenger world. I don't even know how that thing works, like where that would fit in.
I think that's more of a he accidentally broke dimensions.
Yeah, he like jumped 3 universes and ended up in Shinkenger.
I would blame Dien for that because he did it first.
Honori Diendo.
Because I'm pretty sure if I remember Shinkenger, there's just like one episode near the end where Kaito's there, and
I think it was like halfway through or something.
It's either halfway through or like right at the end of the episode where Kaito.
It was right at the end of the episode where he just shows up for no reason. And so I guess that is technically canon to Shinkenger because it's them in Shinkenger's universe.
Yeah, they don't reference it after it all happens, but yeah.
But it was just a weird thing that sort of happened because basically they basically jumped. It's like you're on a ladder and you just jump up 3 steps and end up.
Okay, no. I have a good way of explaining this now. The Sentai and Kamen Rider universes are 2 sides of the same coin, but then the rim of that coin is the crossover universes.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy.
So, like, on heads, you got Kamen Rider. On tails, you have Sentai. And then on the border, you have every crossover.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he just went through the coin.
Yes.
Yeah, so he just, like, drilled straight through the coin into Shinkenger.
He Billy the Kid ate a hole in it. Pew.
Because the like weird Photoshop filter rift thing is traveling through dimensions in Decade.
No, for those who aren't sitting in that house, which that never made any sense. But we'll talk about that later.
And Kaito, who can just kind of do it at will.
Yeah.
It's reasons that I don't think ever got explained because Decade.
I just find it. I don't really want to go into Decade details. I just find it weird that old dude has like all those posters of those past 10 or past 9 seasons.
Yeah. What? No.
They never explain anything of that.
Yeah. Narataki is a very interesting person who I'm sure we'll talk a lot about when we get.
I'm pretty sure he's talking about Natsumi's grandpa and photo backgrounds.
Sorry, I was thinking.
Yeah.
Every episode a new background would drop down and say, "Woo!" They're somewhere else.
Yep. Okay.
That never made sense to me. Even when I watched the 3 episodes or whatever I watched, I was like, what?
Yeah, that never gets explained.
No, literally, I'm watching, and then at the very end of the last episode of Kiva, they had a little thing for whatever the next series was, and I was like, what?
That is an accurate reaction to all of Decade.
And then after I watched the Ryuki episodes, I was like,
just a long silence.
What? Because, you gotta let the end credits play.
Yeah. Decade is a interesting thing we'll be dealing with next month.
Yep.
With a special guest of some sort.
Yes, that will be interesting.
We just gotta figure out when we're doing that.
Yep. But anyway, so is that all you got, Biff?
Yeah, so this has been me creating an extensively complicated multiverse theory about a Japanese children's cartoon TV show.
That got screwed over all because one guy gave
because one group of incompetent writers made a badly written show.
No. It's not even that. It's because one idiot accidentally dropped his apple in a different universe and wanted to go get it back.
So I had made this theory well before Ghost happened.
I'm just saying, the whole thing about the universe theory being more, screwed over is because, ironically, Newton, being, the guy about apples, got dropped in a different universe.
Yeah, though there could have been more worse and complicated universes, shows to share a universe. Drive
and Gaim would have been horrible.
Yeah, it's Gaim and anyone.
Well, Gaim and Drive is worse because Go lived in America.
True, but I'm pretty sure in O's
America looking like a
in O's Dante went to America. Date, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to America. So
yeah, but still, you got to think about it like this. So it's like, Go. America got nuked. Where were you? America.
You could have. Here's the thing about the whole America nuking things. There was a lot of missiles that got dropped, but America is a big fucking country. Let's be honest here. They could have dropped that anywhere in the world or on the country, and Go could have been in the one place that didn't get something dropped on it.
Yes, Arizona, as stated by his T-shirts.
Exactly, because there is nothing in Arizona anyway.
Apparently, there's a guy making Kamen Rider belts.
Fun fact: Harley Hendrickson was actually in Kamen Rider Super 1.
Nice.
That's the same actor.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
So yes, that was once again my incredibly complicated multiverse theory about a Japanese children's show.
And then the rest of us just bitching about belts.
Yep.
Yes. And cell phones.
Yeah.
And
so I'm glad to finally get that off my chest.
Indeed.
If we ever need to talk about it again, I'll just be refer back to this video.
Refer to episode 11.
Yep.
So yeah, with that done, I'm pretty sure we're done, basically. So, Thank you all for listening and dealing with this insanity.
Yep.
Not really much else to describe it, but yeah. Thank you for listening, and of course, do the stuff with the social medias and the things. I don't need to do that rant every single time.
Yeah, the Facebooks, the Twitter links,
all the shit in the description.
The description below or above or however, if you're upside down or in other universes, however you like your setup being set up,
Yes. Do the things in the links and all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys next time for whatever the hell we're doing next time.
Bye. Oyasumi.